set. Perfect. Okay, yes, Yasuo, one of the top champs in the game, and he's going to be taken away. Now, also, some of the more popular AD carries, loving to see Draven in the meta, just wanting to get that early damage as quick as possible, being able to get any sort of lead and then snowball it, and he's going to be against the Ezreal. Now, Draven was picked first, and then Ezreal afterwards, so that's a real tough pick when you're picking Ezreal into Draven. Normally, Draven really likes that matchup, so we're going to have to see if two old men, lose LP, are going to be able to take advantage of that priority bot lane with that Draven, and I'm predicting Lulu here in the bot. Not a very standard bot lane with Lulu, again, not being seen very much. Generally, you're seeing the Draven with, let's say, like a Thresh pick or a Braum, or, you know, just more of the heavy engagers like a Tom Kench or like an Alistar. And rounding out the comps, oh, very exciting. We're having the top lanes coming out, Nasus versus Darius. Nasus being the one being picked out first, and then going right after Darius, who's going to be trying to get the kills onto Nasus. Wow, this is extremely interesting here for our first game, best of 5 season. These teams are playing for incredible prizes at the IGS Season 2 Cup. First place, $600 cash plus the fee. That makes it. So a fee is $100. So it was $700 cash plus a $400 credit. That's at $1,100 of value for first place. That's right, folks. 1,100 big ones. Second place, we're having $400 cash, $300 store credit for the Invictus game station. Again, Young Street is where the tournament's being played, and over 250 Shepherd here in North Toronto, the North York area, is where their original location is. So amazing prizes. I can't wait to cast this first game. Gringos versus two old men lose LP. These guys battled out all the competitors. They were in a tough all-day quarter and semifinals yesterday. They're now in best of 5. I just love casting best of 5 series between two teams made up of just amazing types of players. Here we're having the spectator queue that's just about to go on. They're going to go ahead and repeat everything that we have just shown you. But let's go ahead and break down what we think some of these lanes are going to look like. So for the top lane, as I was just talking about, we're having the Nasus versus Darius. Nasus was the one picking blind. Just assuming that his team, who's made up primarily of early to mid-game champions, that they're going to be able to hold on to this game while Nasus stacks up and gets to that very precarious 20 to 25 minute mark when he's rocking about 400, 500 stacks and then gets unleashed onto the map and really starts to take over. Darius on the opposite side is going to want to pick up that Triforce as soon as possible and start stacking up some kills on Nasus. He's really looking at getting 2 or 3 kills in this laning phase. And just a little bit of an error there. I think the game's just getting restarted, but we have a lot to talk about. So top lane has already been discussed. Mid lane here, we're having the Corki, which is most likely going to be in the mid lane. And that's going to be up against the Vladimir. So a pretty passive matchup. We're going to have the Corki that's going to want to poke the Vladimir, but Vladimir's just going to be able to continue to sustain. Really, it's up to Corki to go ahead and roam and cause a bigger influence on the map. Vladimir is just going to be fine to really get that second, that third item, start to pick up some levels and experience, and really start to scale over the Corki, which you're going to start to see at around the 25-30 minute. I'll say 30 minute mark, because Corki's really strong at the 20-25 minute mark. So we're going to have that. So again, it's a little bit of a reverse. In the top lane, Darius has to be the aggressive one that's got to impose his will on the Nasus. In the middle, it's the opposite. Corki going to have a hard time killing the Vladimir, and is really going to look to roam with top lane, bot lane, help out in the jungle, and start to influence the map on his team. Now, swinging back over to the bot lane, Ezreal and Karma, a pretty safe poke lane, a fair bit of ability power between those two champions. Ezreal doing a little bit, Karma doing more. And then the bot lane is going to be Draven, Lulu. So personally, I like Karma a little bit more than Lulu in the current iterations. Lulu is, I just feel, it's got a little bit, not quite enough tank. So if you play her safe, if you play her behind your carry, her spells and her utility are just really second to none. But Karma just has a little bit more. She's got a little bit more health. She's got a little more survivability. She can get in there, and the margin for error is just not quite as high as it is with Lulu. But we have some really, really strong players from Diamond all the way to Grandmaster. These guys are excellent players, so I'm really looking to see this Draven Lulu impose their will on the Ezreal Karma, but it's going to be a toss-up, and we're going to have to see how the individual players are going to play them. Now, last but not least, as I was touched on first, now I'm going to finish up with Xin Zhao versus Jarvan. Xin Zhao is going to be wanting to gank and steal away as many camps as possible, also try to skirmish with the Jarvan as much as possible in the early to mid game, whereas Jarvan is going to be wanting to do effective ganks. So Jarvan is going to be wanting to go into lanes that he sees that are pushed out, try to start get a couple of autos on, and then as soon as the flash is expended, either counter flash after or EQ, do the flag and drag and follow up with the damage and then the CC as possible. So when you're looking at scaling for each of these teams, they're both fairly similar. The really only late game scaling champions on both teams are Nasus and Vladimir. I mean, Ezreal it has a good mid game, but really we have overwhelmingly fairly mid game centered early game teams. So both teams looking to get the advantage and not lose it, try to get into the mid game with as much of a lead as possible, or as many objectives as they can. Very excited to cast this all for you. Exel here, the caster, YouTube, Twitch. You know where to find me. Just type my name in. I'm going to pop up all over the internet. TLC. These guys have been around for many, many years, over 11,000 Facebook followers, just a real staple in the community. Just a pleasure working with these guys. And Nate is someone who I've worked very closely with and I've met over the years, and really to put on a tournament of this magnitude.
Everything about our family is insane. Nice to see nothing's changed. The apocalypse is in 8 days.
We need the full force of the Academy.
Bingo.
Get up, we're going.
Where?
Save the world.
Oh, is that all?
Is not a simple task. So excellent job, Nate. Anybody else helping out around with the tournament or the setup, thank you so much. I myself, just a pleasure to be casting top talent here in the Toronto region where I'm from, where I like casting live events. If you've never seen me before, I've been doing this for a couple years now, probably about a dozen events now over the years, and very, very excited to do this. And last but absolutely not least, the hosts of this tournament, Invictus Game Station. If you've been around the esports community here in Toronto, you've heard of them. Their 250 Shepherd Avenue East location has just been a real staple for esports events over the years. And now their 558 Yonge Street, I think it's around Yonge in College. I've been there a few times, and but just go check it out. They're right on Yonge Street. Absolute amazing location, and I can't wait to be a part of more tournaments in the future. Very, very exciting. So just going to wave hi. Hi, caster Exel here in my casting station. Various League of Legends memorabilia and my casting shirt, which I'm not wearing for you today. I'm going to go a little more formal. This is a best of 5 series, you know. This is special how often do you get to see a best of 5 series without being in the professional leagues? You don't, okay? It's very, very rare, and I can't wait to see the different strategies that each of the teams are going to do to kind of, if we're going to see one team win particularly hard with a certain type of champion, be able to ban that out and try something else. If we can just go over. So I'll switch back down here to the pro draft. There you are, and I'm just going to be calling out the players. We're having LLYR here in the top lane as Nasus, Zinzao, Wheel in the jungle, Diamond Haze as the mid Corki, Hayam Guardian as Ezreal, Wraith, or Wrath rather, as the Karma support, and then over on Two Old Men, we're having Mercury as the top lane Darius, and Ken Shifu as the Jarvan jungle, Mr. K as Vladimir mid, Akam Akishara, Ahi, there you go, Ahi as Draven, and Kelvin here as the Lulu support, who I'm looking at. I really love playing the Lulu. I just can't recently. I just can't. Like, you get Thresh hooked, you get Blitzcranked hooked, and you just die immediately. I know, like, that's how it normally was. It's just even worse these days. But Kelvin is all but certainly going to be playing this Lulu at a much higher level than what I ever play her at. And wow, just so excited. I can't wait. Invictus, Game Station, the League of Legends Cup Season 2. $1,100 of prize value here over to the first place. $700 here to the second. What more can you say? What more can you ask for? Spectator delay, almost done. Just going to switch right over, and we will be right back with the game. And here we are coming back for you. We're just having a slight pause at the beginning of the game. Gonna set up the scoreboard, make sure everything's all good. Everyone's up and ready for action. Both teams starting out. Pretty normal items for everyone. Vlad going with that Dark Seal early. Gonna want to get the most out of those pots. Also not expecting to die anytime soon. Corki going with the Cull in the mid lane, just not wanting any sort of early aggression. You see Corkis do various starts, and this one tends to be the more passive start where you're trying to get your money for that first item, that first Trinity Force, where you're not quite as useful until you pick that up. And Cull kind of helps you get there if you don't lose out too much on the way. Both teams spreading out. Neither doing any sort of concerted invade. Here we're having a little bit of early action. Karma trading. But not before that first ward. Wow! Go Draven! He's got the kill! Alright, well, we're going to have a lot more action in the game than that. Both teams starting at the red. Be interesting to see where Jarvan goes after this. Whether he goes for the top lane scuttle, or whether he goes back down towards his blue buff to try to get both buffs. Excuse me. There we're having the mid lane. Oh, and very interesting, we're having the Nasus switch lanes. Wow. Corki top, that is a super unusual. And I actually don't understand this that much because historically the Vlad has been a very, very good pick into Nasus. Like that tends to be a counter pick for the Vlad. So just missing a gank up atop. Both junglers already ganking here before the 2 minute and 30-second mark. Very, very quick ganks for both of them. And here we're seeing the Corki, as expected, pushing in this Darius. Darius, if he can get a gank in this top lane, will be fairly easy to be able to take out this Corki if the W is not available. So fairly even. Nasus, pretty fortunate to already get that 11 farm. Vlad doing the best that he can to zone as much as possible. And back over to the bot lane. Draven and Lulu pushing out the lane. I already have a slight CS lead now for the Draven. Going to be looking to do as much damage as possible as early on. Going to be looking to get those kills and stack those bounties. And swing him back up and around. Both junglers even on the farm. Vladimir having a hard time zoning out the Nasus. Nasus very happy with the state of affairs. 24 farm to 19.
Are you with me?
Robin Hood, now on Blu-ray and on demand.
Draven still maintaining the push. Neither jungler has ganked again. Here they are confronting each other in the top side of the map with Xin Zhao going in. Going to get the E off, but not pooling is a very patient play from Mr. K on the Vladimir. Once again, very interested in this bot lane play. Nobody is weak as of yet. But here we're having a gank here in the mid lane. Jarvan is coming up, currently holding the blue buff, and there might be a 2-on-2 fight. Nasus is pretty low on the mana, but has that level advantage on the Vladimir. Excellent play so far for LLYR, Tyler, on the Nasus. He's going to love this first back now. 38 farm in less than 5 minutes. In a counter matchup is extremely strong. But here we're having some pings going out around the dragon. both junglers around, but not wanting to push for that objective. It is pretty early at the 5-minute mark. Neither has bought. Jarvan just upgrading that jungle item. There, he's just considering what buy to do, deciding the jungle upgrade with the boots. So just wanting to move around the map at a little bit of a quicker pace. Xin Zhao decided not to go back and buy. He's going to go ahead and get that scuttle, but we're having a call for a gank on the top lane. So here we're going to see him finish that scuttle off. And move up, but it's going to be very difficult with the lane being pushed as it is. Looks like he's just going to help out, but doing that also gives the team vision of where you are. So yes, he's able to push the wave out in top to help Corki go back and buy before Darius can push that lane back in, but does give the enemy team a visual that he's right there and not in mid or not in top. Jarvan coming down. It looks like he wants to get fancy on this Nasus. Here we're having with the ult. R coming out. Both teams going in, but Jarvan not having the ult as of yet. If he had that, then possibly they could have did a little bit more there, but the flash from the Nasus is going to be more than enough, and you better believe they're going to be marking that timer up and around the 11-minute mark. Nasus will not have that flashback. Currently built the Sheen, so excellent first item for that Nasus. Bottom lane has not backed yet. Ezreal did go with the Kleptomancy, currently showing that Sight Ward in his inventory. Looking to try to knock down a turret plate. Just barely not able to knock that one out. Gonna be very close to this first item here is the Draven. And with all the crit item changes here in 9.3, we are playing 9.3. It's going to be a question on what the Draven decides to buy first. Ezreal's build path really has not changed that much with the recent patch changes, but Draven will be interesting to see what he goes back and purchases first, whether it be that BF sword or something different. Let's swing back around to another lane. This is kind of more where I expected this lane to be, with Vladimir pushing out against the Nasus, but Nasus still doing a good job farming under turret, but that's not it. He's going for some damage, getting the W on, and Xin Zhao deciding not to follow up on that gank. He had the red buff. He was just worried that Jarvan was already in this zone, and he was not very far, but currently a level disadvantage for the Jarvan. He does not have ultimate yet, and Xin Zhao is going to do all kinds of damage, and with the Hail of Blades being able to get those, can't believe it, 2 kills over for the Gringos. So Gringos taking the early 2-0 lead, and 2 old men drop LP. They went ahead and dropped that early advantage. But this game is still very, very far from being decided. There's going to be a reset done by 2 old men, and we're going to see how they're going to transition into this later laning phase and whether this first dragon is going to be fought for. It is the ever enjoyably to be contested Ocean Dragon. So at the 9-minute mark, neither team looking at that yet. But Gringos did get that Scuttle Crab, so early control of the river over to Gringos. And it looks like we're having some action over towards the the blue buff, sorry. Corki does see this happening, going ahead and Wing in. He's getting the early damage, still not level 6 yet, is this Jarvan. So instead of going to get his level 6 elsewhere, on the map, he goes and invades the enemy jungle, and he might be getting caught. Flash being used, and very worth it. Flash being used by the Corki. Picks up that kill. Currently 1 kill on the Corki, 1 for Xin Zhao, 1 for Nasus. So everywhere except for the bottom lane, tons of action going on. Excuse me, just going around the map here. $1,800 gold lead now for Gringos, Team Blue. Early farm lead though for two old men, showing, as you can see, the Draven, who went ahead and made that cull on his first back with that BF. So it's excellent first back, and he's going to be looking to finish that first item as quick as possible, stacking that cull to build on the farm lead. And here we're having another 2-on-2. This constant action in this mid lane. Nasus using the ultimate, but also trading back is the Vladimir, but the teleport coming in. Darius is going to try to get the dunk onto one, going to try to get another one. He's just going to go stack those bleed stacks. And big turn for the Darius. 2-0. So despite being down and getting his top lane push, let's look at how the tower is doing. Diamond Haze just knocking off that second turret plate, currently having the blue buff. But Darius, with that second kill, more than catches up, at least with the farm discrepancy. Now, with the 2 turret plates being down, Corki does have a little bit of a gold lead with the 1 kill over the Darius, but Darius is going to love that first back. Excuse me, we're having some action here in the bot lane. W used by Karma, but not being able to follow up with as much damage as possible. As was stated quite a bit earlier, my biggest issue with Lulu is this low health bar, and she did not get hit with much, but as already has to go back to base, and Draven is likely going to do the same, not wanting to be caught out alone. So he's going to be very careful here, not wanting to show until absolutely necessary, because the enemy team is going to hypothesize that Lulu is not here. Excellent dodge there, but here we're having a gank. We're going to be having a very quickly 3-on-2 here for 2 old men, knocking down the Karma, and they're going to take what they can get, and we'll see if the Jarvan decides to move up towards this dragon. He is currently 0-3, so may not want to push this advantage too much with only having the support kill, but he is going to, and we're going to see whether Gringos goes around and responds at all. And appears to be just easy 12-30 Ocean Dragon over towards 2 old men. So the kills are now fairly even. Slight gold lead over for Gringos, but the one objective that's down so far is over in 2 old men's favor. They're just looking about a possible gank onto this Nasus, but as Nasus pushes in the wave, would not have the Vladimir support that would have been needed to kill him. So deciding against it, they're going to head back and reset. Nasus just heading up. And the 13-minute mark, you're considering going for this Rift Herald, and there is vision here that Darius just put down. And this is the magic time here at the 13-14-minute mark. If you can get this Rift Herald before the turret plating go away, you can really stack up a lot of gold, but it doesn't appear that they're going to be able so. But down is the Darius to the Corki, and with the knockup done by the J4, it's going to be more than enough damage to take him out, and these kills just keep going back and forth, one for another, but Nasus being left to his own devices against 2 opponents, a little bit slow to respond, is the Karma, just having to walk so far away.
Everything about our family is insane. Nice to see nothing's changed. The apocalypse is in 8 days.
We need the full force of the Academy.
Bingo.
Get up, we're going.
Where?
Save the world.
Oh, is that all?
Way. And the 2-on-2 trade, but meanwhile, Nasus is stacking. Most likely around the 200 stack mark here is the Nasus here at 14 minutes. He's going to go ahead and take away some jungle. You do get the 12 stacks for the large camps here. Very, very important that you, whenever you have the chance, that you can knock a couple of these large camps down and start boosting up your total. And it looks like they're initiating a lane swap, is 2 old men. with Darius going in the mid lane, just having a little bit of back and forth. But here in the bot lane, we're having the knockup going onto Karma, and Draven does not get that kill, but does go over to the Jarvan, who, despite being down, still went for the Warrior enchant. Draven does have a kill to his name, was able to cash in earlier. Game is extremely close at 6-6. Countering the engage there is the Corki. Gonna go ahead and use that double and back off. But we're having a 2-on-1 on Darius, but you know that's where he excels in. Jarvan coming back in. Dunk attempted, just barely being able to pick it up, and it looks like Nasus is gonna be able to trade that one back. 3 kills and 1 death over for LLYR Tyler in the mid lane. Nasus. Darius also picking up kills. 3 kills, 2 deaths for the Darius, and more action. It's just, what a great game for our first game in this series. This looks like an excellent series here in the Invictus Game Station League of Legends Cup Season 2, and brought to you by the Toronto League of Legends Commune. The Toronto League Commune. And I myself, Rav Exel, happy to bring this to you, but we're having a dive here into the bot lane. Turret almost down. Jarvan initially starting to take these tower shots, but with the Lulu ultimate, being able to tank and get away. 1 kill over towards the Draven. So now with 2 kills, just being able to cash in there, he's most likely going to want you back and start working towards that second item. Very close to finishing his cull there. Only 7 stacks left. And we're going to see what he's going to build. He's going to go for the rapid fire cannon. Rapid fire cannon just recently nerfed in 9.3, but with Draven, range is so important that you know, you just really need it. It's just such a core item on Draven, just to be able to keep you safe. You're already such short range, and you're such a target. Every team wants to be able to knock you out of the fight and not have you get kills. Left alone to his own devices, we're having Vlad pick up that first turret in the mid lane. Gold lead that was on Gringos' Team Blue's favor has now swung back over to the other side. Red team with the kill advantage and a slight gold lead. Very, very slight though. Has now 2 old men. The red team is now back and ready to fight this game out on a more equal term. Once again, Jarvan fighting the Xin Zhao. Deciding to flag and drag away from there. Xin Zhao having the scuttle control for the most part of this map. The most part of this game, rather. And really, there's just action in so many lanes. All across the jungle. There we're having the Jarvan ultimate. Cataclysm is going to trap the Karma inside. But before trading back a ton of damage is this Corki knocking out 2. That's a triple kill. This is massive. Can't believe it. Diamond Hayes picking it up with the turret. They're going to continue to push. Are they going to get 2 turrets off this? This is a huge break in the game. And Gringos just winning this mid-game skirmish with their mid-game champion core. Nasus on their team farming on the top lane. But that's not what's made this team strong so far. This combination of Xin Zhao, Ezreal, and Corki just being able to do tons of damage. And what am I saying? 2 turrets? They did 3 turrets. Oh, look at that gold lead now. Just swung 3,000 over into their favor. And Gringos has now really taken a firm grip on this course of the game. And they're going to actually go for a dragon after this too. And they're going to be absolutely right, despite having vision on it. 2 old men. Drop LP can't contest this. And even this is going to be dangerous. They're trying to trade. They're trying to get something to the other side of the map. But they have vision seen against them. And that's why it's taking all 4 of them to go ahead and get that back. Because if you're just going to take that with 2 people, Nasus very well could have stayed with the help of Xin Zhao and contested. But 4 members of Team Red, 2 old men, drop LP, are going to get that back, and we're going to see how that's going to be used. Already with with a slight disadvantage. And let's see what some of these items that are going to be picked up now for Gringos. So Nasus finished the Trinity Force. The big 2-item power spice now. Look at the Corki with the Infinity Edge, with the Trinity Force. Zeal as well. Upgraded Sork Boots. This is the strong point for Corki. This is really the strongest member on the map. We're going to go ahead and stick on him. He's going to be Wing into some action. Let's see if he goes into the enemy team and tries to make something happen. All right, well, it just dropped off, and he decides not against jumping into 2 members in the mid lane. Swing back around to other people. Jarvan is trying to get as many items as possible, but just having that warrior and some armor, really, he's struggling to keep out with the Xin Zhao, who's 2/3 way through his Trinity Force. So once Xin Zhao, which I predict in the next 5 minutes, is going to have that Trinity Force, he's going to be a huge favorite over the Jarvan in any sort of skirmishes. Early Baron. 21 minutes. Both teams fighting for vision. 2 old men with lots of wards in the area. I really like their vision control. Let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6. 6 wards in the direct vicinity, which includes 3 control wards. So excellent job by 2 old men with their vision control around this objective. You have to give the advantage now in any sort of team fight over towards Gringos, though. Team Blue, they just have that many more items in order to deal damage with. Meanwhile, we're having Corki push on the bot lane. Meanwhile, Rift Herald used top, so we're having Darius respond to Corki into the bot lane, but 3 members of 2 old men in the top guiding this Rift Herald. Looks like we have a 3-on-3. Make that a 4-on-3. 1 kill coming over. Make that 2 now for High Guardian. Make that 3, and wow! Knocking out the Rift Herald and being able to win that team fight. Corki being able to get around the map, get from bottom lane all the way to top lane. So had the pressure over there on bot lane, used his teleport, got right into the fight, made that 3-on-3 into a 4-on-3, and then Ezreal picking up a couple of kills there. Big scores now over for Gringos, blue team. Now with the Baron, they're going to look to get either the last 2 tier 2 turrets, which is in top lane and bottom lane, or they're going to go ahead and push this mid inhibitor, which is naked right there. So let's see what they decide to do, whether they try to do a 1-3-1 or whether they try to do a 4-1. Which would be the most common ways to use the Baron. Now, if they decide to go all towards the mid lane and 5v5 it, if they feel they're strong enough, which at 7,000 gold ahead with Baron, they are, they could just put 5 members right into the mid lane and attempt that. But as we see Nasus move top lane, they're most likely going to do the 1-3-1. We're having Corki in bottom here, pushing up the minions. Then we're having the other 3 here in mid lane. Looks like they're transferring over towards Dragon. Let's take a peek on what kind of Dragon.
Shoot up, gang.
All their training has led to this. Hiccup,
He's not the only one.
Toothless, and Light Fury.
Well, look who it is.
How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World.
We're going to be having here the light color. Looks like a wind. So Wind Dragon taken, blue buff stolen from Ezreal. And then here it looks like Nasus is going to get some early pressure on him. We're going to have a 3-on-1. Let's see if they're going to be able to knock out the Nasus before he can kill any of these opposing members. Wow, it was 1 shot. He got him to half health and everything being used on this Nasus and just barely being able to get him down with 4 members being in the top lane. And Gringos knows what's going on here. They know that their Nasus took one for the team, died in top lane, and they're going to get a turret. And let's see how much damage they get onto this bot turret. Very quickly, already down to half. And what do you mean damage? They're going to take it all down before the enemy team is going to be responding. So, knocking down 2 turrets in bot lane in exchange for a Nasus kill. Yeah, I would say that way, way worth it. So, excellent rotations there from Gringos. There we see Nasus back at base. And even without their Nasus, still able to get the inhibitor is Team Gringos. Vlad diving in, being able to knock out the support, and really they had to get something there. And without the Cataclysm, Jarvan not able to trap Xin Zhao under the turret, and definitely not able to 1v1 him in any sort of capacity. Gonna retreat under tower. Just Nasus is so strong at this point, going with the Righteous Glory, proccing it just to make Jarvan run away. And we were asking the question, what could Gringos take with this Baron? And the answer is quite a lot. Being able to knock down the 2 bottom turrets with the inhibitor. And all in exchange just for a Nasus death. So Nasus being able to do quite a lot in the early game, which is not what I was expecting. Also not expecting him going mid lane either. So quite a good job from this mid lane Nasus. Corki just doing so much damage, I can't even get over there quick enough. And that's what happens when you have a 3.5 item Corki with upgraded boots where everyone else is still building their 2nd and 3rd item. Vladimir down for 2 old men. That means another inhibitor. Very calculated play from Team Gringos. Not taking any unnecessary risks. They're just going to go ahead, poke what they can. Going to push the minion waves down the bottom and middle of the map while Nasus pushes the top lane. Now 3 members going to rotate up, where this tower is not long for this world. Play a song on your tiny violin if you are a fan or a member of 2 Old Men Lose LP, because that tower went down. And here we're having to engage. They know they got to make something happen. They're going hard on the Nasus, being able to take it out, but trading the kill back on the Darius is the Corki, who just is able to knock down anybody. Vlad as well, getting a little bit more. But not before. Xin Zhao knocking down a Nexus turret. Just trades going all over the place. 4 members versus 4. And 2 old men are just hanging on by the skin of their teeth. They tried to make an engagement onto the top. They got the Nasus, but that's the thing. Is like when you take Nasus down, who's the most tanky member on their team, and you have to kill the rest of the team, and it's easier said than done. Once you use all your cooldowns against the tank, what are you going to do after that? And there it was. You lose a trading kill back onto your Darius, and you lose a Nexus turret. Slight lull in the action. Inhibitor of 2 old men in the bot lane. Going to be up in a couple of minutes. Next dragon is up in 15 seconds. Baron currently live. It's going to be very difficult for 2 old men red team to defend this Baron with their mid and bottom inhibitor already gone. And yeah, wham bam, thank you ma'am. Knock up from the Hail of Blades. Xin Zhao goes. The follow through from the Ezreal. True shot barrage, and This appears to be the soliloquy of this story. Baron taken, and I'm just going to have a peek to see if they're going to push right now or whether they're going to reset. Nasus backing, the rest of the team deciding to push up. Just wanted to keep the pressure on, not wanting to give two old men any chance. Baron minions coming right up. Here's another one with a super. More super minions with the Baron coming right in. Still about a minute and a half left on this Baron. 3 inhibitors down. There's the last one, as I was saying, just coming back up, and that's going to be 3 inhibitors down for quite a bit of time. This is going to be the death throes for two old men, unless they can perform some sort of magic defense. Let's see. There's the flash going in, getting the ult onto 2 people. Redemption's going to trade back some of that damage. Vladimir getting the first kill onto Xin Zhao. They're going to be very happy with that. Currently 2 for 1 for two old men. They're very happy with that trade. Now, can they get back to their base to heal up before the rest can do damage? But it doesn't look like it. It looks like Gringos is going to go ahead and try to go for the finish. And this is game 1 of the tournament. They're not going to take any chances with this. They're just going to go and take the finish. Gringos, 11k up, 31 minutes in. They take the Baron, they take the inhibitors, they take the game. And here we go. Game 1 in the books. Team Gringos, blue team. What a action-packed games. 22-16, 38 kills. And we're going to have more for you. Game 2 coming right up. As soon as the teams are ready, we're going to be putting this right on. We'll come right back as soon as this is ready. Exel, Invictus Game Station, League of Legends Cup, brought to you by the Toronto League Commune. Wow, what a game 1. Can you believe that? Gringos? Some big numbers. Just taking a look at the game there. We have Corky 8-1-5 and 328 CS in a 30-minute game. That's right, 328 CS versus Darius's 207 CS. And then Ezreal on Gringos didn't die. That's right, the guy did not die. But here we're having another draft once again. Thresh banned again as the first ban. Get this up on the full screen. A little bit better viewing pleasure. Yeah, so Ezreal 6-0-8 as well. Just had not died at all. Karma doing her job. Ezreal staying safe. Seem to be having some issues on the ban screen. So they wanted to ban Yorick, but just it did not function as of yet. Excuse me, just having a little bit of an issue.
We agreed Paul was mine to refer. I need those reward points so I can get my phone plan down to 0.
It's not my fault I'm better at referring friends than you are.
Yorick first ban. Thank you. Let's try this again. See if we can get this to work. We're doing this all on the fly. There we go. We got money. And we're magic. Ban's going out. York first ban, and we're gonna run with this. Zillion next. This is the issue with Pro Draft. I mean, it's a great program. It's just this occasionally happens. I've used it a few times before. And very importantly, the Corky ban. So this is one of the changes that has now happened. 2 old men drop LP banning out the Corky, who it'd be a toss-up who you'd think the MVP would. I'd personally give it to Corky. They're rocking a Corky top lane, but you could also very rightly give it to the Ezreal as well, not dying at all, just being able to get all kinds of poke damage, staying extra safe, and really not dropping anything towards the Draven. Picks coming up now. We're having a different AD carry now pick for Gringo. It's going to do with the first pick, Caitlyn. So someone who is going to be using the crit AD carry changes quite well. You might even see a static Shiv, which was recently buffed. Two men going with the Xin Zhao again. Had a good game. Had quite a good game. They played the J4 last time. Xin Zhao was picked by Gringos before and did quite well with it. So they're going to take that one away. Picking up the Lissandra, who got a minor nerf in 9.3. It was a nerf to her wave clear, which is just something to take her away from, being like universally like you could say the best mid laner. She's being played in every region, pretty much the most picked ban, and just a little bit of wave clear just tends to bring her back down to where maybe you don't first pick her. Maybe you wait her. You see a little bit more of what's happened. And Kassadin being picked into Lissandra, that's going to be a tough matchup. But it's one that they picked into. So Lissandra coming out first, but Gringos saying, you know what, we'll raise you a Kassadin. We don't think that you can kill our this Kassadin with this Lissandra. Lissandra, who tends to be more known as a utility mid laner with so much usefulness and mobility, and then that ultimate being 2 different uses, whether it's a self ult or whether it's a enemy team ult. We're going to have a rehash of the supports here in bot lane. Both are choosing the mage poke supports of Lulu and Karma. Coming out with some further bans. Draven being taken out, who was played in the last game. Now, generally, as a Caitlyn, I don't mind playing against a Draven. He's one of the few people I don't mind seeing. Really, Draven does very good against almost all AD carries except for Caitlyn, but just taking away a little bit of comfort. Draven did do fairly well last game. Did have a pretty good game, and then the Nasus taken out from Gringos, as well as the Jarvan. So they're going to have to try some new picks here. Really, some of their standouts of Corky and Nasus are been taken away. And Jarvan, who was the jungler that 2 men drop LP picked last time, are just going to take that away because they know what a power pick it is. So filling out the comps now. Our first virus that we're going to see in this final. A pretty good pick against Caitlyn. The general counter picks tend to be the Ashe, the Varus. I think the Draven, but perhaps other people are, would disagree with that. So just picking that up. If you can land the ultimate onto the Caitlyn as Varus, then generally you can knock her out of the game before the enemy team can follow up. Kha'Zix's now picked up for Gringos in the jungle. It's going to be a little bit more of an aggressive jungler. Gringos also going with a little bit more of a scaling comp with the Kassadin and the Caitlyn already picked up so far. Yes, they had Nasus in last game. Oh, this is super interesting with the Braum now taken up. It's not Karma support. And this was going back to what I was talking about in the first game about how Karma is a flex pick, or at least has been a flex pick before the Frostfang nerfs. So seeing the Braum come up, we know that the Karma is most likely going to be in top lane. But with this Team Gringos doing the Corki in top lane last time and putting the Naxxus in mid lane, you really don't know where they're going to put the Karma versus Kassadin, and they're gonna see how this draft shapes up with Kled now being picked as the, you would think, top lane, and they're going to see who they're going to put up against that. You would think it would be the Karma top and the Kassadin mid against the Kled top versus Lissandra mid, but let's see how this draft goes and what happens. So it seems like all the picks have been done, and we're just going to be waiting to get into queue here. So let's go ahead lane by lane and see what these teams are bringing as we have this game that's about to start and the 3-minute spectator delay. So we've got a nice little bit of time that we can talk about these comps. Let's start the opposite way. We'll go from the bottom up. We have Caitlyn and Braum. So a pretty nice safe range from the Caitlyn. Braum being able to have the shield, which will be very useful against Varus and possibly Lissandra, but definitely against Varus. Just an overall good pick is the Braum. Been played for a few seasons now with top priority. And they're going to be up against the Varus Lulu. So just because of the little bit of range that the Caitlyn's going to have, you'd think that very, very early on that the Caitlyn, like pre-6, is going to have the advantage. But after level 6, maybe not so much. Varus, with that ultimate, has a good chance to be able to either hit the Karma or the the Caitlyn or the Braum. And if you can get the Caitlyn, might be able to knock him out. So early advantage for the Caitlyn Braum, and we're going to have to see how the mid game moves in regards to the Lulu Varus. Now, going right up into the mid lane, supposed mid lane, Lissandra versus Kassadin. Kassadin, as we all know, just got to get to that level 6. That level 6 where gets that Rift Walk and suddenly gets a lot more movement and a lot more kill pressure and a lot more safety as well. Just really an overall much better champ once he gets that ultimate, really dependent on it. Whereas Lissandra, yes, dependent on the ult as well, but should be able to push in the wave even with the 9.3 wave clear nerfs hitting her, and I believe it was her Q. Should be able to push the wave up against this Kassadin and deny him some CS in the first early going. So early for the Lissandra, late for the Kassadin. Jungle, we're having the Kha'Zix and the Xin Zhao matchup. Both are going to be looking to skirmish. Both are going to be looking to catch each other out alone in their jungle, and it's going to be very reliant on how their teams play around them. So, 1v1 matchup with nobody around, the Kha'Zix does have a good chance against the Xin Zhao, but in a 2v2 skirmish, you got to give the favor to Xin Zhao. So it's going to be really dependent on two old men drop LP about if they can help out their Xin Zhao and fight this Kha'Zix, because we don't want that one-on-one battle. At least they don't. Swinging back over towards the top lane, supposed top lane, Karma, who won't go the Frostfang unless she's not wanting to get the extra gold that you're able to get from it. You are being able to get, I believe it's mana that you get, but not the gold. And he's going to be against the Kled. This is a matchup I can say that I have never seen in this season. So in season 9, I have not seen how this has gone. Kled, who is a lane bully, well, you have to say Karma is as well. So Karma is going to be trying to poke, whereas Kled's going to be trying to dive in and get kills, and playing around that mount is going to be.
Everything about our family is insane. Nice to see nothing's changed. The apocalypse is in 8 days.
We need the full force of the Academy.
Bingo.
Get up, we're going.
Where?
Save the world.
Oh, is that all?
Very, very important. So everything's locked in. Teams are just about to get into this game. And let's look at how these teams stack up here for scaling. The two hyper-scaling champions of Caitlyn and Cassidon versus, you can't say really anyone on the Two Old Men Drop LP is really meant for the late game. So they're going to be looking to, stay at least at an even keel towards this mid game, but most likely will be relying on that that 3,000 to 5,000 gold lead with an objective or two on to Gringos, because if they're not going to have that at the 25-minute mark, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. All right, teams are in the game. We're just going to be waiting for this spectator delay. All right, let's see how this goes. And we're swinging back to the Rav Cam. Hey, welcome everyone. What a tournament so far. Game 1 went to Gringos. 2 men drop LP. Going to be trying to take one back. This is a best of 5 game. The first place team, $1,100 in cash and prizes, and the second place team, $700 cash and prizes. So both teams are happy for making it, but really you're playing for $400 here. That's nothing to write home about. That's something that you really want to try hard for this, and we're going to have to see what each team brings in this respective game, and whether we're going to be having a close series or a blowout. Personally, I would much rather have a close series. I've got my sleeves all rolled up here for this. I'm all ready. I got my tie all loose. Don't want to get too hot casting these crazy team fights. All these 2v2, 3v3 skirmishes that this game 1 provided, and I'm very expecting that this game 2 will provide as well. Anyone that's jumped over from my stream, anyone that has come over from the I just gave you the link there over in the last 2 hours. Hello, thank you for supporting me. All the TLC Toronto League Commune crowd. Hello, all the Toronto crowd. However you got this. Great League of Legends, live League of Legends here at Invictus Game Station at 558 Yonge Street. You still got time. Are you in the area? This is going to go on for a few hours more. If it goes to Game 5, you could catch that. I heard there's some funnel cakes. Yeah. You go there, you get a chance to get some funnel cake. Yeah. I love that. What are you waiting for? It's like Young in college. 558 Yonge Street. Get down there. Game 2 is just starting right now. Go, 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 go. Have some fun. Watch some live League of Legends. They got a big projector. They've got a sitting area. You can even hop on the computers after and play with some of your favorite players that you're watching now. You can see the winners. You can shake their hands. You'd be like, "Wow, I love how you played. You were awesome. Did you take that Nasus mid? I've always wanted to do that, but I keep getting flamed. How did you go even on CS with that Vladimir? I thought that was a counter matchup here. Hey. Well, maybe not like that, but you can do what you want. Anyways, we're getting into the game. Spectator delays almost done. I myself, Rav Exel, as you can see in the back, doing the casting thing. Live League of Legends. You see me at a tournament event, you see me around, come shake my hand. Just say, hey, I've seen you before. I acknowledge your existence. You cast League of Legends. I also cast a few other games, but live for tournaments, by far I cast League of Legends the most, and probably have the most fun doing that as well. Coming from a StarCraft background, but anyways, we're getting right into game. Let me get this set up here. Got this screen. There we go. Getting to these players. Excuse me, just... There we go. Got everything nice. Little fight going on early on. Just trying to knock this bar out. Don't want to see that. Come on, we want to see those items. We want to see those items. Gringo starting blue buff. No, Gringo starting red buff. Two old men starting blue. Just going to switch over just for just 1 second. Excuse me, just having a little bit of a technical delays here. Game's just started. It's 2 minutes in. Nothing major happened. No early invade. Last game, both junglers ganked by this time. And I'm just trying to knock out this bottom bar here. Let's see. C-O. There, we're having the jungle skirmish. Kha'Zix with the early level lead. But trading back is Xin Zhao, trading extremely strong. But now level 3 over for the Kha'Zix. Just wants to get that scuttle. He's just going to get right out. Quick response here from the Lissandra, which is what we were looking for. Want to help out that jungler. Another fight going up in the top lane. Karma getting the W onto Kled, but it's going to be followed up by the Kha'Zix. Using the flash already. Mount's been taken off. They shoot a couple more hits, but Kled's going to get right back towards the turret. Countered by the Xin Zhao flashing back in. He's going to be trying to finish one of these guys off. We're looking first blood. It's going to be any time now. Just barely able to get it. Is the Xin Zhao, but it's going to be followed up with any more. Kled's going to be diving on the turret. He's got the Mount back, and even if he gets hit by the shot, will not take him out. Early lead for two old men. Lose LP. This was the exact opposite of what happened last game. Last game was an early 2-0 for Gringos. This game, a 2-0 now for two old men, with Kled picking up the one and Xin Zhao picking up the other. Mid lane going fairly evenly, exactly the same CS, which is awesome for Kassadin. And I'm just going to switch back over. Hey, what's going on? Excuse me, just trying to figure out. There we go. So back to the game. Kha'Zix now going for the first solo Scuttle Crab. In front of this Infernal Dragon, 5 minutes in. Teleport used into mid lane from Lissandra, just trying to get back to lane. Currently with the Corrupting Pot, 2 Dark Seals, a Ward, and the Minion Dematerializer. So
Everything about our family is insane. Nice to see nothing's changed. The apocalypse is in 8 days.
We need the full force of the Academy.
Bingo.
Get up, we're going.
Where?
Save the world.
Oh, is that all?
already full items here for the mid lane and top lane here for 2 old men. Looks like a gank possibly happening onto the bot lane. Not being seen yet is the Xin Zhao. Able to get the slow proc on him. Knock up as well. He's one more shot. Just being able to pick it up is the Varus, who's also trying to pick up this last one. The bird's not going to be enough. Barely being able to get out is the Braum. And now 3-0 for 2 old men. Varus picking that one out. There's all kinds of action here going from the Xin Zhao, who's causing death and destruction everywhere it goes. Ken Shifu, early MVP, just making all kinds of action happen for his team. The Xin Zhao seems to be the real strong pick now for this tournament. Both teams using him to an extremely high proficiency. All right, wave being pushed in from Karma, but not before. Kled's going to try to get the early attack on him. That's right, he does have a kill already, and the mount using ultimate, deciding not to push it. I thought he was going to dive there, but with these 6 minions hitting him, and then with these more to come, there's a chance that Karma was going to have enough damage to finish off Kled. So just deciding to be a little bit safer, not wanting to throw away his lead, is the Kled. So I like the safe play there, deciding, considering that they already have a lead and they don't want to throw it away on any sort of overly aggressive play into enemy minions. Red buff now taken from Kha'Zix. Blue as well. And we're going to see if the Lissandra is going to come pick this one up. She's already low mana. She could really use it after pushing these minions. Going to have a chance to get over here and pick that up. And it's going to help with the lane push onto this Kassadin, who is farming extremely well for this early in the game. Already 60 farm, just past the 7-minute mark. And that's one thing that this Team Gringos is doing extremely well, is getting very large farm totals, like very, very near professional levels to the professional level. Whereas 2 old men drop LP are struggling slightly with that. But hey, they got the kills right now. They're already up 1,000 gold. Maybe that'll be enough. Kha'Zix with the red buff is going to force the flash out of the Lulu. Not wanting to take any sort of chance there, with the Kha'Zix jumping in and getting that red slow proc, that burn onto her before she could flash out into safety. Farm is even. Both AD carries have the BF sword. Just basically tempting the Caitlyn to try to shoot him. Swing back over to top lane. Karma getting the poke, but not doing a whole lot of damage. Karma not having a lot of AP. Looks like going for a Rod of Ages for a first build with that Catalyst and Blasting Wand. Pushing the lane in with his Minion Dematerializer. As you can see, only 2 charges left on that item. Helping him get the push, get these good back timings. Swing back over to Xin Zhao. Making his way towards the dragon. They're setting up a 4-man on bot lane. They are going to be seen by this ward, but there may not be enough time for Gringos to respond. There they see one. There they see the other. And no help from their team. And a nice early roam here from the Sandra. Trying to make a difference in this early game. Good attempt, but also a good retreat as well. They didn't want to press it, but here, big damage onto the Kazakhs. Just one shot, really. And it's just barely going to be able to get out. Oh, flash for flash. Good attempt there from Lysandra. $700 gold now. The early lead that they accrued is now starting to shrink. 2 old men, that is. Team Red. Kazakhs already used his flash, and knowing that Xin Zhao comes in with the flash, knowing Kazakhs did not have flash, and just got right in there. Using the ultimate to try to get as much damage back as possible. Oh, you had to block that! Oh, was that on purpose? I don't know if that was on purpose or not. What a genius play if that was on purpose from the Lysandra, choosing not to block that, knowing that Xin Zhao could get off. I'm going to have to ask that player after the end of the game, Mr. K, did you mean to not block that shot? Did you think you would be okay? Because if you did, you, sir, know your damages, you know your champions, you know your League of Legends, and at the finals of this best of 5 tournament, $1,100 and $700 respectively up for grabs. I think you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't make it to this this far level. Contestation here from the Kazakhs, being able to not get that from the Braum, so not even landing the smite, but a little advantage here from 2 old men. They're having 3. Oh, so close. She was trying to get one back, was the Kazakhs, and now I swear this game is exactly opposite to the last one that we just faced. In that, look at the junglers. Last game we had the Jarvan at 2 old men, a 0-3 start. Now it's Whale over at Kazakhs for Gringos at the 0-3 start as well. So Jarvan was able to fight back and was able to be useful to his team, accruing a large amount of assists for his team. Let's see if Kazakhs, who's more used to assassinating, if he's going to be able to do the same. Not quite the same utility, and you can't really quite build the same sort of tank as the Jarvan can. So when you get behind, there's really not as much you can do. Early CS lead in the top lane for Gringos, but over on the other side, we're having the early CS lead from the Varus, 2-0-1, and that's unusual because generally the Caitlyn is the one who's pushing well, really pretty much anyone in, and if you don't have a CS lead as Caitlyn to start this game off, you're generally in for a little bit of problem because it means you're not controlling the lane, you're not getting early damage. Look, almost not even a single shot. It's really just a couple of minions hitting it. There's no turret plates going down. But here, once again, is Xin Zhao making all the difference in the early game. Is going to get right in with his E. He does have the knockup, got it up with the Hail of Blades, and this time, not able to finish it off is the Varus. Good guy Varus blocking for the Xin Zhao. And here, having Kazakhs, why are you coming down, trying to make a difference, but not able to get too much of the damage. Ultimate from Lulu onto the Xin Zhao, who's going to trade back all kinds of damage, knocking out the Caitlyn. But Kassadin is trying to get one back. Not able to do so. This is a very different game than our first game. The first game, there was an early lead from Gringos. Fought back hardly for 2 old men, but this game too is a reverse. It is 2 old men just really winning every single sort of trade. But we're having some action here in the top lane. Karma almost getting knocked out from this Kled, who she's only died once, has this Rod of Ages stacking, does not want to give anything else over towards this top lane. Kled, if you can keep him down in the laning phase, really just has the utility of his ultimate and his tower diving ability with the mount is not the best team fighter. He's a great engager with the ultimate, but there's so many other champions who do the team fighting better than Kled. Once again, blue buff going over to Lissandra. Looks like they want to make a play here on bot lane. They do have this ward protecting them. Braum Wing out. Caitlyn using the net to get as far away as possible. Zinzao getting the knock-up, followed by the W, and it's going to be enough. Varus picking it up once again under turret. Lulu taking one out. Varus picking up the other. And this bot lane is going extremely well for the team of two old men, the red team.
Game faces.
You brought a baby to a battle.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
So I'm attempting to think of ways that the blue team, Gringos, could come back from this. Would rely on, they do have a fair bit of assassination ability with their Kha'Zix and their Kassadin. I mean, the Kha'Zix is a fair bit behind, but they do have some burst damage between the two. So setting up some good vision around the map and seeing if the red team has someone out. Here in the jungle, Gringos trying to contest, already losing a camp. Deep vision placed by two old men. And a reset is going to happen with the dragon coming up in 10 seconds. So Lissandra and Lulu are heading back, and I believe there was vision there. Next dragon, do we get a peek? We don't get a peek. But Rift Herald used in mid lane. They're going to potentially use this Rift Herald to not only get this tower down, but get the dragon as well. So there, tower down on there. Mountain Dragon attempting to be picked up. Yes, they're losing the game, but they're going to have the first two dragons. What game does this remind me of? This kind of reminds me of the 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest game that was played yesterday, week 4, day 1, where 100 Thieves got all 5 dragons, but then lost the team fight and then lost the game. So I'm going to have to see if it's something similar with Gringos knocking out these two first dragons. And they're thinking to themselves, hey, if we could just hold on. If we could just hold on to this game, not lose this early, we could potentially come back, have this Infernal Dragon when everyone is level 18, when our team starts to scale, as was said before, the Kassadin, the Caitlyn, these champs that need their level 6 Kassadin, these champs that need items, Caitlyn, to start to get useful. Like they're really on a hold, wait and see. But who's doing the opposite of that is two old men who gonna get the Hail of Blades knock-up. Oh, excuse me. Gonna get that up there. One more shot, and they want to give it away to Varus, but not quite able. Having Zinzao flash and then finishing it off with the smite. What a 3-on-3 with teleport coming in. This is a very bad news for Gringos if they decide to go ahead and fight this. Let's see if the flash engage happens. They don't even need to, with two old men picking up the final kill onto the Braum before going back and finishing that turret off. Gold lead extending now 5,000, which doesn't sound like a lot, but at the 18-minute mark is very big. A 5,000 gold lead doesn't quite mean the same thing at 30 minutes versus 18 minutes, and here is the 18-minute version, and you do not want to be in that type of situation if you are the blue team, because this fast early to mid-game team of two old men is beating you all around the map. and their junglers being an absolute terror. You can't think that Gringos is going to give over the Xin Zhao to Ken Shifu because this guy is winning this all over the map. But that's not to say that Akam Ai Saka with the Varus and Kelvin here with the Lulu, that they're not doing their job. They're winning a lane that that really should not be won by this much. And yes, there was a lot of early jungle pressure at the beginning of the game towards the bottom lane, but that's still they've still been able to pick up every time that Xin Zhao has been able to go bottom lane. Either one of the bot laners picking up that kill and getting these leads. Scuttle Crab being taken over. Once again, the Xin Zhao controlling the river, controlling the early jungle. I say once again because that's what happened for the enemy team in the first game. But a 20-minute Baron take. Let's see how this is going to go. That's the Sterix Gauge procced from Xin Zhao. And only now does Gringo starting to ping out that this is happening. Stun ultimate landed from the Lissandra, picking up the kill on the support, but that still doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a free Baron. It is a 4-on-4. Both top laners are down, but an engagement once again from Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao is just starting everything. Braum trying to disengage with the ultimate, getting away with the W, but Caitlyn doing what she can, trying to do as much damage with this red buff proc. It's just she's only got the Infinity Edge, and without that second item, it is in a lot of trouble to start outputting the amount of damage that she's needed to in that awkward mid-game phase that Caitlyn gets when she's not having that early lane pressure, but then she's trying to do damage throughout the map before finishing that second or third item. And really, most AD carries tend to do the second and third item power spike better than she can. Varus being one of them. Going with that new reformed Phantom Dancer, that shield that you get when you go below 30%. Can be a lot more aggressive. You can take more chances when you know you're going to have that shield up. And it scales per level, starting at level 9 all the way up to level 18. Currently Varus at level 12, so just starting to get that shield up and up and up. A level higher than the Caitlyn. It's pretty much around the board. Little half level, full level leads for two old men. Gringos wisely not challenging for this buff, but here we're having the Kled going in with the ultimate, going in on the Braum, not the target you want to be going under the turret, and Karma pushing the top lane. So Braum is going down, but in exchange, the turret and top lane has went down with nice solo gold going over to Karma. She's able to build a Kindle Gem and a stopwatch and a Sheen. So trying to get some items, trying to be more and more useful, just having trouble against her counterpart of Kled, who has already got the Black Cleaver, the Tiamat, and the Jerem's Fist. Here are the junglers. Xin Zhao most certainly has the advantage in this duel. Even more so when he goes back to base. Also picking up the stopwatch. One stopwatch for Team Gringos, a two for two old men. Item points being hit first from two old men. 5,000 gold lead up. Down a dragon. They're down that mountain dragon. But with this type of a lead, not going to matter too much. Mountain dragons are only useful when you're able to hit objectives, and Gringos does not have that sort of lead that they can be pushing on towers or pushing on objectives. Kassadin split pushing on the bottom lane does have the TP up. Ooh, going for the tricky play. They can do this because they have control wards. They know that they're going to have to check. And there they go. They're going on the engage. Kassadin's coming in to try to even up the odds, but for the time being, it's 5-on-4 until Kassadin comes in. Brahm's going down. Kassadin forcibly completes the TP. Has to now. Personally, I like that change. You have to be much more strategic, but here, Varus, ultimate, gonna get that right down onto the Karma, and almost certainly will be able to finish her off, not quite having the level of tankiness she's gonna need to survive this, despite having the gauntlet. 2 members down for Gringos. That was 2 kills picked up for 2 old men. It's what they were looking for. They never went for that Baron. Like, they didn't go for it that last time. They used their vision. They set that up. It's exactly what they wanted. And they are doing exactly what they need to win this game. Get the early ganks. Have this Xin Zhao win over this Kha'Zix in the early matchup. Turn this bot lane against Gringos. And have your Varus get all kinds of kills and pressure with the early tower here on bot lane.
Game faces.
You brought a baby to a battle.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Mid lane and top lane. Not a whole lot of action for this game, but here, does she have the ability? Jumping after with the flash. Is down to a 1 shot. Doesn't look like it. Flash is already used, but this stopwatch might be enough, and it absolutely is. And look at Kha'Zix. Starting to 0-3, now 4-4, but we're having action on the other side of the map. Kha'Zix is the jungler. They're going to have this for free unless the team challenges. They're having 3 members challenge. The plate's getting turned on it. 4-on-3 until the Kassadin can get in there and turn it. They're looking to try to pick up a kill. Right in the middle is Kassadin picking up the kill onto Xin Zhao. And this is turning. This Gringos is getting all types of kills. They're coming back in this game. Kassadin doing all kinds of damage. This game is getting turned around. We're going to be having a Baron take. What a comeback. I can't believe this is happening. Over 5,000 gold down. Jungler on the bot side. Kha'Zix showing that he got the kill on the bot. Then swinging right over as the enemy team turns the fight. Locking down this Baron. Getting these kills. Turning this game around. We have an even game. Let's go. Game 2. IGS Cup. Season 2. Here we go. Whew. Oh, I hope you're ready for this one. I hope you're ready. This is going to be one of those special tournament finals. This is going to be one that we can rewatch again. Hope you appreciate the solo casting styles of me, Exel. 5-game series. Bringing it to you. Casting this on short notice, but glad to help out these great organizations, TLC, IGS, all those acronyms that you know you love. Now you got a new one, RAV. No, not Rav, your buddy that you know down the street. No, Rav the caster. Rav the League of Legends caster. Yeah, Toronto. Doing the live tournaments. I do rock a bow tie once in a while. Not this time. You got to tune in to see it again. Lulu, just that was 2 hits. That was 2 hits, and she's down to 10% health. But excellent items there for the support Lulu, getting that early Ardent Sensor. No, this is not Season 7. This isn't the Ardent Sensor meta, but is being picked up. But here, Cled's coming on. Karma flashing out. That is a summoner down. Alt for flash. You know you want to take that trade every time. Just wanting to pick up that farm and push the lane, and a little bit aggressive from Karma, but she does have the Baron buff to help her out with that. Caitlyn pushing in that wave on the bottom. Knocked out that turret. 2 old men, knowing that they have this buff against them, this Baron buff. They don't want to lose anything they can't come back from. They know they had the lead. They know that Gringos is coming back. They just got to survive this Baron. Here we're having a fight up in the front. Karma getting all kinds of damage done against her. Xin Zhao just barely did not have the flash. 5 seconds, 10 seconds away from having that flash. And it was just enough. Because they went on that play on the top side, this inhibitor is going to be going down. Now, can Two Old Men win this team fight? Missed ult from Varus, but can we get the Caitlyn traded down? We're not sure, but who is going down is Alessandra and the Xin Zhao. Gringos getting the trade on this one. That's 3 kills for O. They're gonna took out the inhibitor, winning the team fight. They're going to try to win this game. This is one of the biggest comebacks I have ever seen in a span of about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And you're seeing it right here. Stopwatch. Oh, God. Wow. From the Kazakhs. And they're going to try to finish. They're going to try to finish this game. Is this unbelievable? They're going to go ahead 2-0 in the series. Just go back. Go back like to the 25-minute mark. This game was not like this. I got to switch out. Gotta see my face here. I'm struggling to catch my breath on how this game went. It was so massive. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and break this. I need to catch my breath. I'm just gonna go ahead and enter these scores in. We're now in a 2-0 lead. Gringos over Two Old Men. I'm gonna catch my breath. The two teams are gonna plan IGS Season 2 Cup. Wow.